Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, now here at the Republican Convention in Cleveland, Ohio, proceedings have been overtaken by farce after a speech by Donald Trump's wife, Melania, which bore striking similarities to one made by Michelle Obama 8 years ago. Mr. Trump's team insists that fragments of the speech reflected her own thinking and that at least 93% of the speech was completely different. But today was supposed to be devoted to the US economy. Our Washington correspondent Kylie Morris was at the speech last night. Joins me now from downtown Cleveland. Kylie.
Well, yes, Martin, we're in downtown Cleveland, but certainly not beyond the howl around over this speech that Melania Trump delivered last night. On the floor, I've got to say there was a great deal of anticipation before she began, not only because her husband was introducing her, but also I think there is a sense that she can speak with authority to the character of Donald Trump, that she can reassure nervous voters perhaps about the high esteem with which he regards women. That is why she was the headliner last night. It's very unusual to see a potential First Lady speak on the first night of the convention. But instead of talking about her success, the speech was very well delivered. We're talking about the words and the similarities between them and those delivered by Michelle Obama 8 years ago. I think the problem is it raises questions about a campaign that is built around this idea of authenticity and people speaking their minds. Some people say, look, she's not the candidate, it was simply a turn of phrase, there's nothing to see here. But others say, look, what is going on inside this campaign that makes it possible for this to happen? It's a very bumpy beginning to a very important moment in the Trump campaign to be president. There was a moment last night on the floor when there was, though, a real sense of celebration.
And so they danced. But though they may adore him and even want to take him home in a box, 70% of women have an unfavourable view of their candidate.
Just begin it.
Some people say that he has a problem with women. Clearly doesn't have a problem with you.
Because I'm a strong woman. He loves strong women. Strong women love Donald Trump, and we're not afraid of him. It's those weak men who are so afraid of such a strong man.
Strong man indeed. Perhaps that's what Donald Trump was channeling when he made his entrance last night.
This is his first appearance at the convention. It's a critical moment, though apparently he's not the keynote speaker tonight, it's his wife. A major change in her role and a big moment.
Born in Slovenia, then communist Yugoslavia, Mrs. Trump described the kind of American dream her husband promises to restore, at least for some.
On July 28, 2006, I was very proud to become citizens of the United States. The greatest privilege on planet Earth.
Chris Christie, recently overlooked as a potential VP pick, looked on adoringly as Mrs. Trump followed the auto cue with poise. More on the words she chose in a moment, but this was the reaction in the room.
Melania, wow. She is so elegant, so graceful. She is our American Princess Diana.
Is she a force for good? Was that good?
Please welcome retired United States Army Lieutenant General and former Director of the Defense.
Your wife in the past has rolled her eyes at some of the comments Donald Trump has made.
No, she didn't.
Do you think he has a problem with women?
I don't know how you follow and act like Melania Trump.
This is the footage of Mary Pat Christie on stage with Mr. Trump when he accused Hillary Clinton of playing the woman card.
The only thing she's got going is the woman's card.
The Trump campaign needed Melania Trump to persuade voters her husband is no misogynist. But by this morning, the effort was compromised by the revelation that parts of her speech closely resembled one Michelle Obama delivered 8 years ago.
That you work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond.
That your word is your bond.
And you do what you say and keep your promise.
That you do what you say you're going to do.
That you treat people with respect.
That you treat people with dignity and respect
There's more, but here's how the section closes out.
is the reach of your dreams
Is the strength of your dreams
and your willingness to work hard for them.
and your willingness to work for them.
The campaign response, it's not plagiarism, it's the use of common words. Oh, and a gendered retort, for good measure.
You know, and certainly we've noted that the Clinton camp was the first to get it out there in trying to say that there was something untoward about the speech that Melania Trump gave. It's just another example, as far as we're concerned, that when Hillary Clinton is threatened by a female, the first thing she does is try to destroy the person.
Day 2 in Cleveland, and the party faithful were looking to put day 1 behind them.
You're going to play to certain things that people emote with, and I'm pretty sure Melania or Michelle Obama have at least a few intersections of care in the same areas.
For crying out loud, she said what any woman would say for her husband, just that this is what we stand for. I mean, that's what you want him to say.
And if it was a speechwriter, then if I was Mr. Trump, I'd fire the speechwriter.
In other words, you're fired. That well-known Trumpism, just the kind of reality check the campaign would have liked to avoid.
Kylie Morris in downtown Cleveland, and we'll be back later with more on the protests here in this city. Not as you might expect outside, but right here inside the convention hall, from Republicans determined to do all they can do to stop Donald Trump's nomination. You'd expect Donald Trump to attract noisy protests as well as fervent support, but the surprise here is that the biggest howls of dissent have come from the floor of the convention itself. In fact, there was a major shouting match as Republicans, determined to show the strength of feeling against Mr. Trump, found for themselves frustrated by the rules. Protest had been expected outside the convention center, but not this.
No! No! Well, I think everybody would prefer to have people be able to vote their conscience.
20% of the states here had been trying to stage a vote effectively to unseat Trump as the party's candidate, but quickly rewritten party rules saw them off.
Those in favor of the rules package will say aye. Those opposed shall say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
That's it. The anti-Trump rebellion is over.
We want Trump. We want Trump.
What are they afraid of if those rules are so good?
What's been done to Virginia?
Well, we were disenfranchised tonight. That's what was done tonight.
I mean, it was complete crap. What just happened there, they just lied to everybody on national television.
No! Rule of call, vote on the rule! All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Well, I'm joined now by Ken Crow, a supporter of Donald Trump and co-founder of the Tea Party of America, and by Dane Waters, who founded Delegates Unbound, the group that organized last night's campaign to allow delegates a conscience vote against Mr. Trump. Well, look, there was quite a noisy fight last night. What is it about him that you love?
What is it about Mr. Trump? He's the only one that can save America. Nobody else could defeat Hillary Clinton this year. He's the only one that can defeat Hillary Clinton, in my opinion.
This is a pretty desperate state of affairs, because fundamentally there are actually two candidates out there that are probably two of the most unpopular candidates that have been put before the American people, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, first and foremost, what we've wanted this entire convention is for the delegates just to freely choose the nominee. If it's Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump. And the best way to unify the party, honestly, is for them to say, we want Donald Trump, and then to move forward. I personally have issues with Donald Trump. I don't like the tone he's setting in this country. But for the record, I originally supported Donald Trump. I wanted an outsider. I wanted somebody new. But then he showed, in a way, that a tone that in this country that I just personally don't like. So that's what's going on.
And I know you like a bit of rough talk, because you started the Tea Party and all the rest of it. But you must admit, Donald Trump has been out on the edge there, hasn't he?
Once or twice, but, you know, so was George Patton, so was Winston Churchill. So, you know, great leaders are opinionated, and they're going to state their opinion, and they're not politically correct, and we accept that, and we embrace it. We love it.
It can lead to awful misunderstandings in international diplomacy, possibly even war.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, like Ken, I want a firm leader, okay? But there's a difference between being firm and stating your opinion and saying it in a way that divides this country and with the vitriol that's associated with it. You're right. I mean, the things that he says off the top of his head. I mean, I've worked in the Middle East, I've worked around the world, and I can tell you firsthand the impact of these comments. And that is just something that we just find, that I personally find, a serious problem with a Trump candidacy.
But for you, he is the product of a rather unusual marriage.
I often say Donald Trump is the love child of John Wayne and Ronald Reagan. And we love him. We love him.
We live in a dangerous world. We don't want any pistols at dawn.
Oh, yeah, we need more of them. But, you know, we have too much political correctness in America today, and it's costing us. We have to be able to call our enemy what they are, and our current leadership won't do it, and Donald Trump will.
But I mean, that has led to awful things being said about Muslims, about women, about just about anybody who has a gender or a race.
Well, listen, I'm the first to say that there's too much political correctness in this world. But when our children are looking for a role model, they're looking for somebody in the bully pulpit, we need somebody who actually will unify and not divide. So I believe with Ken that we need somebody who can stand up, speak their mind, work against the establishment. But the tone that Donald Trump is setting and what he's saying is divisive in this country, and we can't afford that to be the case.
Well, you use the word divisive. This is the most divided the Republican Party has been since 1968. A vast number of really talented people have not attended this convention.
Well, you're absolutely correct, and believe me, we are concerned about it. And I find it reprehensible that Governor Kasich isn't here. I find it reprehensible that many. I know, and he's supposed to be here at least to say hello, and he won't even do that. For us to win in November, we have to unify. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we're going to have to put a little bit aside and unify behind one candidate.
What could you put a little bit aside?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you want to unify, then let the Republican Party allow the delegates to freely choose Donald Trump. I mean, that's what it boils down to. If you want credibility, if you want to unify, then let the delegates.
But Donald Trump won. He won the primary. No, he won the primary, and they're trying to strip him of the victory. That's the end game. And
I'm never going to be able to resolve this dispute between the two of you. Let's hope America does. I have to leave it at that. But thank you very much. We're back at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Until then, from Kathy in London, all of us here in Cleveland, Ohio. That, for tonight at least, is Channel 4 News. Have a very good evening.